Greetings everyone, this is Elizabeth with the Fairy Stamper Video Design Team, and today we are going to make this cute little card. If you would like to follow along, here is what you'll need. This lovely lady right here is Bluebell, okay, and then these right here is the larger of the two set Bluebells. Okay, so the larger of the Bluebells. And then in the background, we are using both of the hanging ivy. So the big one is going to be stamped in the darker color, and the little one will be stamped in the lighter color. For my card, I wanted something different, so I am using a edged, well, yeah, it cuts my card panel and it puts a little detail in there. Otherwise, just plain cutting will be fine. We're going to take a half a sheet of paper, cut it in half the long ways, then fold it in half for a top folding A2 size card, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We're going to work on a panel that is also 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then we're going to trim it down to get our little white border. Our stamping, I am using Versafine Clair in the Nocturne. You can use any beautiful black ink that you have. My ivy, I'm using a gray color, whatever gray you have. I'm using Simon Hurley's Woof. And in the sky portion, we're going to use a little bit of Dusty Concord, a little Breakup Blue, and a little bit of Midnight's Snack. And those will get our sky going. In the wings and on her back, we are going to use a little shimmer sparkle. If you have the pens, watercolors with shimmer, anything to add just a little bit of sparkle. Okay. And then our other elements that we need, the water brushes. I have a specific water brush for shimmery items. My regular water brush, because I'm going to pull out some watercolor pencils, ink blending tools, and a waterproof pen. Okay. Oh, and we will need a pencil. Where did she go? I will find that in a minute. Okay, and our pencil, because we have to do a little bit of drawing. And then my watercolor pencils. These are inktense. They're a little bit different than actual watercolor pencils, but same principle. I have a purpley color, and then I have a light, medium, and dark in the reddish orange color. Okay, anything you would like to use. Basically, those colors are for your mushroom. So if you want a different color mushroom, then you would pick your colors that way. And then for a little bit of highlighting, of course, a white gel pen. So let me clean up and then we'll get started. All right, we have our stamp positioning tool out because we want a nice crisp print of our stamp. And I'm just going to place Bluebell towards the bottom just a little bit. I want more room at the top for our hanging vines. And then our mushroom will fit in there just fine. Okay. So we're going to pick that up and make sure this piece of paper is nice and snug in that corner for double stamping when needed. Okay, and then we're going to grab our darkest blue, Midnight Snack. Okay, so whatever your darkest blue is, that's what you're going to want to grab. Okay, make sure I've got a good inking up. And then we're going to set her down. You can use your pressure tool. Get a nice, beautiful print. Let's check that out. And not so good in that area, so we will double stamp her. Okay. This layer needs to be really good because we're going to put a black over the top of it. I don't know if you can notice in this one, it is like a little lighter right here in our little spots. We're gonna do a little fancy stamping to give her like a little highlight with the ink. Okay, and that spot is just being troublesome. I want to stamp that one more time. So I'm focusing the ink right in that area. I got a little bit off the side, so I'm going to wipe that up. Okay, one more time. Make sure that's in the corner. Right there. Oh, so much better. Okay. So we're just going to mist her and clean that stamp. Okay. Sorry about the squeaking. All right, now we're going to stamp with the Versafine Clear. And again, we want a nice, beautiful coverage for stamping because we want to be able to do this step in a one and done kind of thing. So, nice light tapping, get that super inky. Now, this is where the fun happens. Okay, so on this one, sorry about the motorcycles, we're gonna wipe away the black right across here and kind of on these little upper pieces. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my rag, okay, and I'm gonna try and get this so you guys can see, hopefully. And I'm just gonna lightly rub that there, that all these upper pieces where like the moonlight or something might add a little shimmer. Okay, we're gonna lighten up her hair right there. I'm kind of dabbing, and I'm gonna dab a little bit of extra right there, right down her backside. Okay. And of course, the more ink you take off, the more the blue is gonna show. Okay, I actually took off too much right there. So I'm gonna add a little bit back. Oh, and you can't even see. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's try this again. So we're just gonna take a little bit off of her back, right into there. You don't want to remove it all, so it's kind of a tapping motion. A napkin, a paper towel, a tissue, a Q-tip, whatever you have handy. All right. Cover our ink so we don't have an accident, and then down we go. Give it a nice, good pressure. Remember that one area right there that was troublesome, so we give a little extra push. It's got nice and sticky, and we double check, and it looks great. Except for right there, but I feel like I moved the paper. Hopefully, right there. I might have taken too much ink off of that area, and that's okay. But see, now we have this lighter area on her backside right there versus a solid black printing. So we just have this nice halo. And then we're gonna pop her right back in here, but in the middle. Okay, I'm gonna stick my magnet bar right over the top of her like so. I'm going to grab my pencil, and we're gonna determine where that mushroom is gonna be now. Okay, on mine, I put it behind her. We don't want it right under her legs because then it will look like she's not grounded. Okay, so I started in her hairline. I wanted to stay down below her eyes so we didn't lose that detail, and then come around the back. Now, if you have a mountain or hill stencil, you can definitely use that, but it's just an easy little half moon, and we don't have to push hard, and we don't even have to do it straight. And you can follow right through the ink and see, maybe this mushroom has a little blurb where it goes down and then up. Okay, so super light pencil mark. Just for reference at this point, start in the middle, like so. It's a lovely day and the motorcycles are taking full advantage of that. Alright, so we're going to ink up in the Versafine Clear again, nice and dark, very rich. Clean where we accidentally overstamped. And then we're gonna grab our gray. For me, it is the Woof. Okay, so now I'm gonna move my magnet up because we want to put some Bluebells right here. So here she is. Isn't she just beautiful? Bluebell with her Bluebells and some hanging ivy. Super simple. And we're going to keep it super simple. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to grab our waterproof pen. Okay. And that pencil mark that we drew, we're going to fill in. And as I'm doing that, I noticed there's a little overstamping, but that's okay. By the time we're done, it'll go away. Now, we're just going to draw some dots, our mushroom dots. And because this is waterproof, I want to make sure it's nice and dry before we grab those inktense. So we're just going to put a round blob there. We're going to grab our light blue blender brush. Okay, and we're going to start off the edge and drag it in. All right, we've got it all nice and cleaned up. I've got my card here for reference, and then we're going to start coloring this. And we're going to start with our lightest color. So depending on what color your mushroom is, just grab your lightest of the three colors and color in the top part of the mushroom, dots, and then kind of like a C shape, okay? A little bit of the top and then the sides. And your watercolor pencil, come in with our mid-tone, our middle pencil, and we're just gonna make some circles around the little ones, the little teeny dots. Doesn't have to be fancy. And then around the bottoms, like a U shape, I'm gonna get the bottoms of those. And if we miss some dots, we just color them in. No biggie. U shapes underneath those ones. Okay. Now we're going to go in with our darker of the three. And we're going to come down maybe a 1/4 inch with the darker color, being heavy-handed up at the top. Come down. Okay. And then I'm going to hold my pencil in the back, okay? This is going to allow me to have super, super light coloring. And I'm just going to lightly color in. Oops. Just lightly. Like so. Super quick. Okay. Now we're going to grab our rag. You always want to have a rag handy if you're dealing with a water pen, because sometimes they get a little crazy. This particular water pen needs some extra squeezing. They have push sides. You give them a squeeze and then the water starts to pour out, okay? And that is too much water, okay? We don't want it bubbling up and being overly juicy. So we get the tip nice and moist but not soaking wet, and then we're gonna start with our lightest. Okay, we're gonna grab that and move that dark rich color around and then pull it into the center, and that'll help keep it light. Okay, around the edge, around the center. And these little ones, you're just going to tap them with water. That's going to activate it. It's going to look beautiful. Now we're going to come in and activate the bottoms of these. And now we're going to come into this nice rich red color that I picked. Nice and strong, and then lightly pull it out. Oops, went out a little bit. That's all right. We'll just do it to both sides so it looks intentional. Maybe it's got a little mushroom glow. That happens. Sometimes we go to lines and just make it look like it was unintentional. We're going to come in with our deep red again. And now we're going to add just a line under her leg, because this is going to cast a shadow too. And then we're going to go over the top of the red again, just to intensify that. Okay. And this time I'm not going to bring it down very far at all. Okay, and you can go in with further detail if you lost a little bit that you're missing. You can go in, and your paper does not even have to be dry. I'm not even using a specialty watercolor paper. This is just 65-pound accent opaque, because I know I'm not going really heavy with the water, so it's going to be just fine. Okay. And maybe, I think I'm going to add a little bit more of my medium orange in here. Again, holding the pencil at the back just to make sure it's nice and light. These colors down. It's super quick. If we spend too much time on it, it's going to get really soggy and wet, and it's not going to be beautiful. And now we're going to pull in that purple pencil. Okay, this purple pencil is going to give us the darkest part of this mushroom, because even though there's a light source behind, what's going to happen is this curved area is going to have a little shadow before it brightens up, because it's rolled. And now we're just gonna activate it. We're not even pulling it or anything. We're just gonna activate it. Just like so. Okay. And we're gonna hit this with the heat tool, because I do need it dry for the next step. So now, in order to get this look here, I took my ink blending brush. I didn't add any extra purple to it. It's just what we used up at the top. And I'm going to go right over the top of the whole thing. Okay. And I actually got the ink off of this pretty good, which is all right. So if you're not getting it as mucky as you want, you can go right in there and add some color, that purple, where you want it. Okay. And just kind of dot it in there. just to tone it back a little, because we don't want it super bright because we're at nighttime. Kind of want a dark spot there. There we go. That looks fabulous. Okay, so we're almost ready for at the home stretch. Hold on one second while I clean this up. Okay, so it's all cleaned up. We've got our Spectrum Noir Sparkle. Okay, and then I've got my glitter water pen. Gonna dip and wipe. And then all we're gonna do is fill in her wings. Add a touch of shimmer to that. Very nice. All right, so just a couple things left. We're going to do some highlighting and then trim and stamp. So we grab our jelly roll or whichever white pen that you have, and I'm just going to go right over these empty spots that turned blue through the inking. Okay, and just re-highlight them. And then we're going to add just a little touch to her outline, just like so. The tips of her, I guess it's like a little fuzzy going on right there. And then the edge of her wing, maybe. Just to help define it a little bit. And I don't have a steady hand. It doesn't have to be pretty. Just add in some highlights. Little speckles of white. Okay. And then the same on our dots on our mushrooms. Little C shape. Add some extra dots. I didn't do that on the other one, but I'm thinking this one needs some white dots. Okay, fabulous. Set these to the side. Looking pretty good. Okay, and of course you can go lighter or darker on your edges. I'm really liking this. Okay, let us grab our die cutting machine. Put this face down, and this particular die cuts the outside and then puts an imprint on the inside. So I need to look at this edge to see how much is showing through. And I want her wings in just a little bit more. So, just like so. Just line it up. Ooh, look at that. And now it's got the little stitching in there. Ugh. Whatever rectangle dies that you have, you can even cut it even smaller if you want for a smaller card. Whatever style you like. All right. Now, the last part, we grab our card base. Okay. There we go. We're going to pop this up. So we're going to grab our foam tape. We're going to grab the back side of our panel here. And we're going to stretch that out and snip. I'm gonna kind of avoid the dots a little bit because I really don't want the foam showing through by accident. I don't know if it actually will or not, but just kind of put it in the middle. Don't stick there. All right. Okay, so this is taped there, is still on. That's the top, so we're gonna get her lined up right up here. And I'm looking at these two sides and then the top right there. I think that'll be good. Such a dork. Yeah, that part's not sticky, so we gotta make sure that looks good and then stick it down at the bottom. There we go. Flip it over. And down she goes. And there we have it, another done card. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. The links in the description will be for the hanging ivy, the Bluebell, and the Bluebells. And then anything else is just what you have handy in your stash. I hope you enjoyed and consider subscribing to the Fairy Stamper channel and follow them on social media because there are so many talented card makers out there sharing their wonderful makes using Fairy Hugs by Fairy Stamper. And these Fairy Hugs stamps are just gorgeous. Until next time, my friends, be sure to have that bell turned on your notifications so you get notified when the next upload comes. Till next time, bye-bye.